So we're checking the microphones right now. We're checking the mics.
Okay, I have what's going on?
I'm definitely doing that. Tell me, Ray. Tell me my idea don't make sense.
What was you saying?
I'll wait for a month. Yeah.
With a billion,
and I'll take the interest out of that first month.
Almost like 50 grand a month.
Talk to me.
If it's a 6% interest thing, because if it's £1 million, 6% interest, that's 60 grand a year, 5 grand a month. So if it's $1 billion, then you just add a few more zeros onto that.
You see why I like people that know their maths? Because me and Shan, when we spoke about it earlier, we said, we need our boy Shay because he knows maths. Turns out, you're now our boy Shay. We just needed a man.
You can't do Shay like that. You can't do like that.
What do you mean?
We add to the group, that's all.
No, I don't mean I'm getting rid of Shay. I just meant that in this moment, you're our Shay.
Who's the first person you tell?
I'm not telling nobody.
Our mic's good, yeah? Sorry, real quick.
Sorry, our mics are good. Carry on talking, boys.
I'm not saying nothing.
You first, Dan.
Yeah, check 1, 2, dadsrus in the building.
Your mic sounds the nicest.
I like
Is it? Fix up the thing.
Here at dadsrus.
No, your mic sounds nice as well, but give me a little,
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, that's not bad. Go ahead, Maxi Tez.
Yeah, you don't know the MySpace. Pick up yourself.
You think you're way too sexy, big man.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't know. No, because it's good of the weights I've done today.
No.
All right, we sound nice, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Levels. All right, guys, listen, I see that all of you left us. You're rude, bruv. Anyway, we're out.
We can lock the TikTok though, because you have to go to the episode to watch properly. It's only 4 people. Well, we love them 4 people though. Yeah, we love them.
What do I need to do here?
And we good? Everyone good? So you can't be over there, yeah? You good?
Yes, brother.
All right, calm. What's happening? Dadsrus in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking us out. We're here to learn, to share, to understand. If you don't know by now, you should go back and watch some videos and you catch on and know what's going on. Boom. Maxi, what's going on?
Wow, you caught me off guard, fam.
Yeah.
Good.
But
Good.
He was doing all the, come on, let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then you just, I thought you were going to do like 15 takes. You
Yeah, nah.
You got no man's a professional. I am.
We're learning.
No, it's cool. I'm just not, let's get everything.
All right, we'll go to D, yeah?
No, we're good, but no, we're not going to D.
Why?
No,
Why?
wait.
Why is it like that? Why is it like that?
No,
Why?
bro, you're not going to D, bro.
I think it's disrespectful.
No. Big up. We're there. Done. Know the MySpace. Big up yourself. 9565. But quiet. Let me slow it down for the people them so they know what time it is in this team. And hold tight the imitators.
Wow.
Hold tight the imitators.
Wow. That sounds a little personal.
No,
it sounds like something happened.
No.
I'm just saying, Maxi Tez, I'm gonna speak how it feels.
Moni must have been on the phone today. 9-5, shut up, man. Bare people. 9-5, shut up, man. That's not your thing. Do your thing.
You know what I'm gonna do, innit, Dan? I'm gonna bring it because I don't
D,
like
you're in the building, D.
Yeah.
Tell them what I want, D.
I'm good, but you know me, I don't like to keep it on us for too long when we've got a guest. So, Danny, Maxi Tez, come on. Someone introduce our guest today.
Come on now.
All right, so in fact, let's let Max introduce.
Nah, this is the madness, yeah? And the madness is that, not the madness, just went to come up and go and buy 2 juice and that. And I've got this mad urge at the moment to I don't know why I keep doing it, but I keep just having to stop. Any person that I see that is in need, I just want to do something straight away. I don't care what it is. It's my last £10. I don't care what it is. I need to do something, have a word, have a talk. So
Any person in need.
Any people in need. Even if I see someone just carrying bags and I can see, sometimes your spirit just texts you sometimes where we're so caught up in our rat race, we tend to don't see the people around us. And what I've been doing is I told God to open my eyes to anything that you want me to see. And that's what he keeps doing. Today I literally saw 2 people today that I've had to stop and have a speak with and talk with. And then just funny enough, I guess the day Jermaine Wong when I'm going to go meet him to go and back him, he's there talking to the same guy we just had a conversation with. So 2 people in the space of 10 minutes have actually engaged. I was so blessed to see the man just having people not just walking past and ignoring this guy because he was a genuinely good guy.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? And we need to stop doing that. So I was just like, that's the kind of people we need on our pod. That's why I'm so grateful he's here. Man like Jermaine Wong inside the house. Big up yourself, bro. How you feeling? How you doing?
Yeah, man, is
Be here. And that intro.
Them kind of big intro there, you know?
Come on, man. Nah. I have to show. Don't want to be. It's not the kind of thing I want to. That's a normal thing that I do anyway. But to see a next brother doing it, care package, you know, man had a big care package of so many items, and I looked at it, I was like, that's beautiful. and
gave to a homeless person.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And,
So that's not
I
what
don't like to call them homeless, I just like to call them just a person because I find it difficult because sometimes they're not. Some of them are not homeless. Just in need. I just call it just in need.
A person in need is quite nice.
a bit less fortunate.
Yeah, or something like that. But I don't know because
A
sometimes you
person in
think
need is good,
There
though.
could be he's a talented brother. We're talking the way he spoke about photography. I know he's gone clear.
He's just down on his luck in that sense.
So our guest was outside speaking to this gentleman already.
No, he's already done. Talked to him and gave him care package and gone back. He said,
Before we
there you go.
introduce you fully, then what made you speak to this person outside?
I called Max.
Yeah.
I come out the car. I called Max. He told me to meet him underneath the co-op. So I'm at the co-op and I see that this person in need is sitting there. And then I remember, oh yeah, I've got 2 care packages in my car that I always keep in my car. I always keep a couple in my car for moments just like this. So I called Max and I said, Max, I'm here. He says, I'm coming. So I said, all right, it's probably going to take about 2 minutes to come downstairs. Let me run back over to my car.
Right, he's right, because I went told everything.
So I went back to my car, grabbed the care package, came back over, and I just handed it to my man. And then when Max came, he started speaking to him. So they knew each other. There was a relationship there already, and he was grateful, which is a blessing. That's where the miracle is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what that's what I'm going to be talking about on your podcast today. Is that there's a miracle. There's miracles that take place when you do the God thing and you seek to give value or you seek to give comfort. Something miraculous happens where you receive comfort when you seek to give comfort.
Right.
Tell them again, big man, because sometimes it flies over people's head.
Real talk.
And not a lot of people understand because we live in society's change, or the system in which we live in is a self-centered system.
Agreed.
But it's not a godly system. And God, in all of his thing, is always trying to say, if you just try the other-centered thing, if you just try the less self-centered thing, trust me, those are where the miracles are. And, I've been living that. Well, I've been trying to live that, and I've been experiencing the miracle of that since October 3rd, 2023. When I seek to give comfort, I receive comfort, and then I'm experiencing the miracle. So what you guys are seeing here right now, the fact that I can be here talking to you guys articulately, not off my head, is because a miracle's taking place, bro.
Okay. So I'm going to fix this mic just to make sure you're good.
Yeah.
But, okay, so you're a father?
Yeah. I'm glad to be here at Dadsrus as well.
Yeah, big up.
I rate I love what you guys are doing. I love what you guys represent. I'm a dad of 5, 4 living, but I'm a dad of many because I've been teaching young students since I was 16 years old.
Right.
And my son was a student that I used to teach. So every student that I teach, they like my children. And they will know, if they catch on to what's happening here, they will know, oh, Mr. Wong's on Dadsrus. We need to tune in. They will know I love them like my children because my son would come to school and he would be in the class and he would call me sir at school. And then he would go home and then call me dad at home. And then every now and again he would get confused and call me dad at school and call me sir at home. So it was like that. We were like that. So when I'm at school and people call me sir, it's almost like they're calling me dad. That's the type of relationship.
That's actually mad.
Yeah.
That's the relationship that we have. That's the relationship I have with all of my students.
What more can I do now as a parent, as father, before it's too late?
It's funny because the last conversation I had with my son was the day before he died.
Wow.
And when I say God be praised, how blessed that conversation was.
Okay.
Max, Dwayne, Danny, and all of us who are here, how blessed that conversation was because I had a conversation with a man. I had a conversation. I was on the phone with my son and we were having a conversation and he was responding to me not as a child. My son didn't die as a child. He died as a man. And my last conversation with him was a man conversation where we were talking about, so son, you serious about this baptism thing? because he just saw his two youngest brother and sister get baptized.
Right.
And he was at the church and he was just like, oh, my younger brothers and sisters can't be getting baptized. I'm the older one. I'm supposed to be setting the example. And he's like, you know what, Dad? I'm going to do it, And I was just like, yeah, it's not like I ain't heard that before. But he's like, nah, you think I'm joking, innit? I'm not joking. I'm going to do it. And I was like, all right. And I was like, listen, if you're serious about that, it's not even about just getting baptized. It's not even about just going to church. It's about, son, you've got an amazing story that can inspire young people. And I'm a storyteller. I'm a storyteller. I'm a filmmaker. You know what I do. And he goes, yeah, I know that. And I was like, son, I want to help you structure and tell your story. And he was like, you know what, Dad? Let's do that. Let's do that, because you know what? We can't be slipping out here. I'm seeing some of my friends just go off the rails, and I'm just thinking, why are you doing that? And he's regurgitating back to me the things that I used to say to him.
Right.
Like, you need to kind of fix up. You need to kind of get some purpose. You need to kind of have your eyes forward, look at some things that you want to do. And he's telling me this.
What he's saying to his friends.
What he's saying to his friends is what I was telling him. So I'm on the phone and he doesn't realize that my mouth is, I'm like, all right, son. All right, we're going to work on this. Love you, Dad. And that's how I used to say, that's how we always end our conversation. I love you, Dad. No, I love you, Dad.
I love you.
I love you, Dad.
Yeah.
And be like, I love you too, son. We hang up the phone and my heart was doing backflips because I've just experienced the manhood of my child.
Yeah.
He's talking like a man, like how I've raised him to talk. Like the work that I wanted to do with him, I got to experience that manhood, even if it was just for a day. We had one of those conversations. So when you're asking, what can we do? We have to do what we do, bro. We have to be intentional about doing the dad thing. Because miracles follow intention. To be honest, sometimes we don't know what to do. Well, what we have to do is just be intentional, because miracles follow the intention. Every miracle that you would read in the Bible or faith or anything like that, they always follow the belief. They don't create the beliefs. They follow the belief. So the person already believes this certain thing's going to happen, and then the miracle validates it. It's because they were intentional. So we just have to be determined that we're going to be intentional about our children, be intentional about our young people, and make sure, all right, the value that I have, I'm going to give. At every opportunity I get where I can give value, that's what I'm going to do.
You mentioned the 3rd of October. Are we able to why is this day significant for viewers?
So Tuesday, the 3rd of October is significant because it is 1,145 Tuesdays after Keelan was born. Keelan was born on a Tuesday, March 27th, 2001. And he took his last breath on Tuesday, the 3rd of October, 2023.
Wow.
5 minutes from where he always is, in the area that he loved, in the area that we used to have a lot of catch-ups on. Like, this is the thing about my son. My son, for those who know about me and him, there is, you can't pass air between us. Like, when fathers talk about, I love my son, and a son says, nah, I love my dad, take that up about 50 times. That's me and Keelan. We are tight.
It's batty and bench thing.
You get what I'm saying? So, and you've got to remember, we were a single parent family from when he was 3 until he was 13.
Right.
and then we became a blended family with my wife. So this is what it is with us.
There's a special bond between.
There's a special bond between us. And when people, even my mum sometimes wouldn't understand. And my mum was pretty much like a surrogate mum.
Yeah, of course.
Even my mum sometimes wouldn't understand, because we would be at our house for like a family gathering, and he would come down and be like, Dad, what's the matter with you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? What have I done? He's like, why are you moving like that? Dad, you need to stop moving. And the way how we'd be talking like mandem. Yeah. And my mum would be like, why are you talking to your dad like that? What's wrong with you? Why are you being disrespectful? And then he would turn to be like, I'm talking to my dad. I'm talking to my... Then I'd be like, it's all right, mum. It's all right. It's all right. This is how we talk. It's just... It's
the mandem.
Yeah.
Israel took off the slipper and... You sure?
Yeah, because she's ready. She's thinking, no.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, no.
Different generation.
Yeah. It's we're bantering. We're just bantering. We're just catching joke. And the reason being because we wouldn't see each other for a week, but my mum has a tradition where we go around for a lunch every Saturday. So when we go around for the lunch every Saturday, and he would be upstairs, and it will probably be like half an hour before he comes downstairs. But he will come downstairs, and then I will see him, and he will see me and be like, and I'd be like, and then he would just sit there and just stare. And waiting for me to start up a conversation, and I'm waiting for him to start up one, but he knows we ain't seen each other for the week, and we're about to start our thing, and then he will do something like take my plate of food, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then I will take something, and then we would just start, and then he would come and sit down here and be like, I miss you, What are you saying? So you say? And I was like, I know that's all you wanted to do. You're just causing trouble because I know that you miss me. He's like, yeah, I did. I did. So this is our relationship was the one. Like it wasn't a pretend I'm trying to have a relationship with my son. Like I really want my relationship with my son to be better than what it is. It wasn't that. It was my son. There was even one time my son come down into the kitchen, and my mom must have said something. Don't be disrespectful. Like we was having this banter thing. It's like, what you do? Why are you talking to your dad like that? And he's like, my dad is the only one I rate in here, And I had to be like, son, yo, don't talk like that. And he's like, all right, sorry, dad. But this was us. And there's the thing, when you would get into trouble or anything like that, the special thing about us is that he knew 100% I need to call my dad. And get himself into trouble, 100% I need to call my dad. And I would say to him every now and again, son, listen, you're when he's getting older, you're 18 now. If you might get into trouble one day where I can't come to the rescue. You realize this, like you can't. I'm always going to be there. Trust me, I'm always going to turn up. You never have to worry about me turning up. Always know that I'm going to turn up, but there might be a circumstance where even when I turn up, I can't do anything because you're an adult. Wow. And now you've got to start thinking like an adult. You've got to start moving like an adult. And this is when I will get into fatherly mode with him. And I'd be like, no, son, you need to start moving like an adult now. You need to start thinking a little bit more with a little bit more wisdom. You need to start applying some of the things that I've been telling you, because you're going to get yourself into trouble and I'm going to turn up, but there's going to be nothing I can do because you're an adult. You're going to have to hold this one by yourself. And I don't want you to have to hold it by yourself. And you'd be like, all right, Dad, cool. I get it. So that's how we work. The beauty of us is he knew there was a love that I had for him, and I knew that he loved me.
Of course.
And that was the beauty. That was the beauty of Keelen Wong and Jermaine Wong. We knew we were each other's guys. Like, ride or die. We're each other's ride or die. We knew that. We knew that 100%.
How did the 3rd of October go that day?
Yeah. So
the day from early up until...
Yeah. Like, so it's a man, and there's certain things I can't even get into. Like the way
speak what you want, bro.
No, the way... No, this is the thing. The way how I want to go in.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm restricted.
Good.
But I'm restricted because the circumstances surrounding it is deep, bro.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So it's the circumstances around it is deep. The case is still ongoing. So I don't want to say too much, which might jeopardize
of course
any justice that needs to get served. But here's the thing. Here's what I will say about the justice needing to get served. What do you do with your emotions when the person you love, one of the people you love the most, your heart, your king, your little prince, what do you do when that person is killed by someone you love?
What?
Right. So and this is why I can't get too deep into it, but
Understood.
just
try to think about that.
try to think about that, and then try to figure out
how to navigate that.
right. So without knowing everything, just know, right, the person who I love,
Yeah.
my seed
Yes.
was taken or was a party to someone who I poured myself into.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like that. So like we were saying, 1,145 Tuesdays later, I'm on my way home from school. And this is the mad thing. Where my school is, I have to catch Loughborough Junction train station.
Okay.
The incident took place 5 minutes from Loughborough Junction train station. It's literally up the road. So I'm on my way home and I stop off. There's this little place where there's giving away free books, and I stop off there and I see a book and I'm like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to read that book. So I take up that book, put it in my pocket, go around the corner, and I jump on the train. And it takes off, and I get to the first stop is Herne Hill.
Then Tulsa, isn't it?
And then as the bus stops at Herne Hill, my phone rings, and it's my brethren from around the area. And he's shouting, Jermaine. I was like, why is this dude shouting? Like, what's with the hype? And it's not normally like this. He doesn't call me that often because I normally see him every week anyway. But he's called me and it's just off. The vibe is off. The energy is off.
Energy, you can feel there's difference.
Yeah. Jermaine. But the energy is frustrating me.
Yeah, because you're not hearing nothing.
Yeah, because there's commotion and then I'm hearing him shout. So I'm thinking, bro, what's going on? Like, get somewhere where you can talk properly, bro. It's that type of vibe that I'm getting. Like, bro, get somewhere you can talk properly. Jermaine. And I'm saying, what? And he just keeps repeating my name, Jermaine. So in my head, I'm like, get to somewhere where you can speak properly. And then he says, whatever you're doing, get off, wherever you are, come here now. You need to come here now. So now I know. And this is all like the thoughts. What I'm about to say now, this is thoughts that's happening within split seconds.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking every time I get a phone call from my mum and it's past the hours of a certain time, there's panic. Because I know where my son is. I know what goes on in the area where my son is.
Okay.
So my mum will call me, and sometimes she will call at 11. And I'm like, oh, my mum don't normally call at 11. Yeah, and I'll answer the phone. Yeah, mum, is everything all right? She goes, yeah, everything's all right. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I didn't even check the time.
Yeah. Everything's all right. And I was like, all right, what's up, mum? And that would happen every now and again, where I get an unusual phone call. Bum, 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 bum. Is everything all right? Yeah, everything's all right. So that feeling came back with, get off. Whatever you're doing now, stop what you're doing, get off now. That feeling came back like, what's happened? But it didn't come to me that it would have anything to do with Keelan. Why? Because we've just had this man conversation.
Yesterday, fresh.
We just had this man conversation. He's moved from the danger of the youths trying to get him because you're now thinking and moving like a young adult. So you don't need to be worried. You're moving on a road now where you don't need to constantly looking behind your back, because now we're starting to think like a man. You're starting to move differently. So he wasn't the first person that came to my mind with the trepidation, with the fear. The first person that came to my mind with the fear was my brother.
Right.
Because my brother is an entrepreneur. He's always been wise beyond his years, and he is trying to come out of the area and move on and do big things with himself. So I went straight to the worst case scenario. Something's happened to my brother who's and that's the filmmaker in me, that's the storyteller in me. Something's happened to my brother who's trying to get out of the area, who's trying to move on, and please, something's happened to my brother. But then he says, it's Keelan. Keelan's been stabbed and he's on the floor. And it don't look good. I goes, all right. And by the time he said it don't look good, the doors on the train shut.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? And then I'm on the train, people are looking at me. They clearly can see that my energy is just totally shift. He said, you don't look good. And I hang up the phone. Because at this point, I'm refusing. I'm saying, that's the devil. That's the devil trying to
draw you out.
To make me see worst case scenario. And guess what? Everything's going to, this is all seconds. Everything's going to be okay. Cool. So he's been stabbed. Something's happened. He's been stabbed. But it's going to be just like the last time he got into trouble with the hospital. The last time I had to visit him in hospital. He got stabbed. And I'm going to have to soothe him. I'm going to have to tell him that everything's okay, but it's all right. I'm not subscribing to it don't look good. Mm-hmm. But then I have to ride this next 5 minutes on the tube, right? On the train. And I'm like, so I don't know what happens. Maybe that the trauma sets in from there, because you go into when you hear shocking news, your body goes into like whether it's a survival mode or you just need to get things done.
Yeah, a bit of an autopilot.
Yeah. So it went in autopilot and the door opens. I'm at Tulse Hill now. I run round to the next train. The next train is not coming till like 20 minutes.
Wow. So
I'm like, nah, well, I can't be waiting there. So I come out of the train station and then I start running back through Herne Hill. I start running back to my area, to Brixton. And I'm getting mad with myself, Danny. I'm getting mad because I'm running and I'm losing breath. I'm running and I'm losing breath. You know, when you run and you lose so much breath where you just have to start walking, but then you try to double step your walk. And then as soon as you catch back a little bit of breath, you're on again. Boom, 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 boom. And then you have to stop. And then in between the running and stopping and running and stopping and walking, I'm getting these phone calls from people.
Right, okay, so it's lighting up now.
Yeah, so people phoning me, and where they're phoning me, and I don't want to answer the call, but I do want to answer the call because they might have information. But something in me makes me know, if I answer the call, you're going to be asking me if I know certain things. Have I got information? So I'm answering the call. I'm hearing, what's happened? I'm just like, yeah, something's happened. I don't know. I'm on my way. Boom. So I'm running and I get to the top of Summer Leighton Road, and there's still that whole big road that I need to run down.
Yeah.
And it don't look good. It just keeps ringing in my head.
That's what what he said.
But I'm just like, no. Everything's going to be okay. Your boy's going to be all right. Everything's going to be okay. I get to the bottom of the road, and then I see the biggest, the commotion. The commotion is just there, and I'm just like, oh, all right. Just keep moving forward. And that's going to be part of the thing that we're going to be talking about later on, about just keep moving forward. So my body's saying, just keep moving forward, just keep moving forward. I see the tape. I just I move the tape, and a police officer tries to stop me. And he goes, you can't come in there. It's like, no, I'm his dad. You need to just let me go. Don't talk to me. Don't say nothing to me. I don't want you to say nothing to me. Don't touch me. Don't say nothing to me. Just, I need to be there. And he's like, I understand. Who are you? Your dad? And I'm like, I'm dad. I'm his dad. He's going to need me there. And this is my thing. I'm always there. I'm never not, especially in these situations. I'm never not there. I'm never not at these moments. At these moments, I'm never not there. So there I got this police officer saying, no, I'm just like, no, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't say nothing to me. I just need to be there. But obviously, they're doing the resuscitation. They're doing
their job.
They're doing their job. They're doing what they have to do. And I'm like, don't touch me. And then I look behind. I see my sisters behind. My sisters are crying. You know, people that I recognize are crying. So I'm like, all right, let me let them do their job. My boy, my brother from another mother, he's there. The guy who gave me the phone call.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's there. And he's also expressing the anger. The police are telling me that I can't. And he's just like, this is father. And I've gone into that mode where it's like, all right, cool. Just let them do what they're doing. Let them do what they're doing. Keelan's behind the sheet, the green sheet, and there's blood's all over the sheet. There's blood's all over the floor. I'm like, that's my son's blood on the floor. My son's blood's all over the floor. I'm like, my son's blood's all over the floor. My son's blood is spilt on the floor. My son. The child of this area. The guy who loves this area.
The guy you had a conversation yesterday. The man you had a conversation yesterday with.
His blood is blood is red on the floor. I got this poem called Red Porridge. It's about that very thing, about that's how blood looks when it's on the concrete. It looks like red porridge. My son's red porridge is on the floor. And then I look over to the side, and then I see the zombie knife, long like this, left there. And the blood's on. I just don't know if that with my son's blood on the knife. And then my sisters behind me, they're shouting at my name. They're asking they're demanding what's going on. I'm just like, you guys, don't worry, just pray. Because
you're on the other side, didn't it? They've allowed you in.
So they've allowed me to get right near where the sheets are. And everybody else is cornered up. And I'm like, just pray, guys, just pray. And I'm still like, it's in a bad way. Yeah. Everything's in a bad way, but you know what? We hold on until there's nothing left to hold on to.
Right.
I'm telling them. So we're there now, and you know they're doing what they do. The ambulance is there, and I'm starting to get a little bit frustrated because things are taking long, and I'm also I don't realize why I'm getting extremely frustrated, but I'm getting frustrated because I see the ambulance start to pack up. Or the ambulance look like they're moving. And I've been asking this police officer, when it's time to take his body to the hospital, I'm coming in. Like there's no questions as I'm coming into the ambulance. But I see them start packing up their equipment. So I turn to the police officer and I say, why is the ambulance packing up their stuff and my son's not going in? And he goes, are you dad? And we would like to talk to you over here. I goes, yeah, we can talk, but first I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me why does the ambulance look like it's being packed up and my son's not going into the ambulance? He goes, can you come here, sir? So I goes, okay. He takes me round to the paramedic. And all the paramedic, he confirms whether I'm dad. Goes, yes, that's my dad. Why is my son, why do you look like you're packing up and my son's not going in the ambulance? And he just starts shaking his head. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And that's the moment they capture on camera.
Right.
And the screams and everything you hear. So it's funny, the screams that you hear, my nephew, Keelan, one of Keelan's closest people, was my nephew. You hear the screaming on the video, but it's actually my nephew, the one that's screaming.
Okay.
At this moment, I've heard it. And obviously my body has to process the trauma what it's just had, and it's my nephew when that's screaming, because they pretty much grew up together, lived in the same. There's areas that we lived in. You see, like you was asking me, Max, whether I live around here. We used to live at Trust Love Road,
Local.
just up the road there. We used to live at Trust Love Road. My nephew, my son, his mum, myself, and another person. We used to live up Trust Love Road, travel to school together, and then we used to live just round the corner over there, and then we used to live in Brixton. My nephew used to live with us in Brixton as well. So it's pretty much
They grew up together.
like it's like
More like siblings.
yeah, they're like it's like his big brother. So when he hears it, the screams that you hear on the TV is actually his screams.
Right.
That is mad.
People just assume that it's my screams because it's on.
Because the image.
And the timing of it. Yeah.
The thing is, you would never know how grateful I am for those screams, because where my body shut down, I want to scream,
But couldn't.
I want to scream like that, and he doesn't know how much of a favor he's doing for me by just vocalizing that anguish. So yeah, so that's the moment. What they see on camera, or what they've taken. That's the moment when the ambulance, the paramedics tell me. The thing is, I called while I was there. I called my wife.
Wait, is this after or before you?
This is before. I called my wife and I said, "Boo, get everybody we know praying. Get them praying." I think this was on the way while I was running down.
Right, cool.
So get everyone praying. Keelan's been stabbed. And I won't even try to reimagine the sound of just that sheer shock. The sheer shock of it. Keelan's been stabbed. Just like my kids were in the room as well. I think before I called my wife, I called Keelan's mum and told her, "Listen, I think I said, are you sitting down? Keelan's been stabbed." Because at this point, it's just a stab, but at this point, he's been stabbed. And in my mind, he's being looked after.
It's cool, man.
He's
But you still got that thing in your head that the man said,
stabbed, and he's
it don't look
probably
good.
been stabbed. He's probably in a bad situation, but
Be okay.
stable. I'm thinking he's been stabbed, but in my mind, I'm not allowing it to go beyond. He's not stable. So I said, "Are you sitting down?" And I said, "Keelan's been stabbed. I'm on the way there now. This is where it is. Rare. And then I'll call my wife and tell her to get everybody we know, get the team praying, get everybody we know praying. And then this happens, and then I remember, crap, I haven't.
You got to make back the phone calls.
Say boo. And, she obviously answers in anticipation. And, well, like I say, he didn't make it. She screams. And her scream just triggered me off, and I break down. Like I fall to the ground at that point. He didn't make it. He didn't make it, boo. He didn't make it. And things are a bit of a blur after that, because I remember being on the floor, my cousin coming through. I remember my cousin coming through, but it's reinforced from the video, because I see her coming through on the video. I see her husband is shouting at the police officer. It's her cousin. She's comforting me. And then I remember getting up and looking at the green shop, and two of my students are in the green shop. Two of my students who I've been teaching that day are in the green shop, because and at
the time as well.
They pronounced him dead at 5:22. So the whole thing happened mid 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock them times.
Peak times.
So I look in the shop and my 2 students are in there. And it's just mad. They're seeing their teacher in a way they've never seen probably a human being up close like this. And it's their teacher who was with them today. So I'm over by the shop and then some more friends come in, trying to comfort my nephew again. He's hugging me and he's saying, you know, he's giving me words of encouragement and I'm just holding him because this is new territory for everybody. So it becomes a little bit of a blur and then I realize, okay, this is happening. Keelan's fiance turns up. So everybody's kind of just finding out, my sisters and when everybody realizes he's been pronounced dead, it's just, the community starts wailing. Because this is the thing. When I say Keelan was a son of the community,
He was.
he truly was a son of the community. Here's the thing. My mum, my mum is a gem of the community. We used to run like this ministry called Food for the Brain, where every Tuesday at the beginning, my mum would pop open her van and give out bun and cheese.
Come on now.
Donuts, sticky chicken. And all of the youths of the area on Tuesday know we need to be round Moulins Road at that particular time because Auntie Annette is giving out sticky chicken, bun and cheese, donuts.
What's sticky chicken though?
Sticky chicken is the
The
chicken.
barbecue chicken.
She used to make the sticky chicken and then she used to make the sauce that she would whack on it. And it was just, it was a
It was just sticky.
it was just a neighborhood thing, and every Tuesday, and it started off.
Yeah,
it started off at the back of her van. Then it was from her window. Then it was inside the house,
Wowzers.
and then we had a community center that we used to do our thing.
Really?
But before we went to the community center, it was in our house for enough long, and every young person knows my mum, loves my mum. Keelan is part of that circle. So they know us. I've been there since I was 17. So we're heavily integrated into our community. So when Keelan is talking to anybody, just because of how he's been raised, it's because of the culture of our house, the culture of how I've been raised and the culture of how I raised him. Everybody is auntie.
Of course.
No one, you don't approach big people by their first name ever. You never see me do that.
Yep.
You've never seen me do that, and I've never seen my mum to this day doesn't do that. If someone's older than her, she's like mum, sis.
Same with my mom.
Exactly.
Same.
So every person that's older than me is auntie or mum.
Yep.
Or uncle.
Yep. Same with me.
So obviously this is the culture that he's grown up in. So whenever he sees someone who's older than him,
It's respect.
it's just respect. It's just respect. So everyone's there. Everyone's his uncle. Everyone's his auntie. Every young person is his bro. Every person younger than him is his cuz. Everyone for Keelan is fam. This is just the nature of the boy.
Right.
This is how he is. So when I tell you that the community is weeping when they find out, when they pronounce him, that the community is weeping because he's everybody's
Bro.
favorite
Sis.
Yeah,
Son. Nephew.
everybody. So now I've got to go and see my mum.
Wow.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Non-stop.
I've got to go and see my mum.
She ain't been alerted yet of what's been going on.
So she knows something terrible has happened.
Okay.
Right.
And something terrible has happened, and it involves her grandson. And I suspect that she's just waiting for me, her son, to come and either confirm or deny what's going on.
Right.
I'm telling you, bro, that walk from the top of the road to my mum's felt like 10 miles. I've never felt so alone on that walk. Because it's a walk that me and my son are not gonna do again. And I'm kind of like I've gone back into a composed mode. And I'm walking, I've got my hands in my pocket and I'm just walking and I'm just like, I'm still trying to process what I'm leaving. And I get to my front door, I get to my mum's front door. My mum's sitting in the corner of the kitchen where she normally sits. We got some aunties that are there. I walk in, I look at my mum. And yeah, I break down. Now I'm in the safety of my home.
Yeah.
Now I'm in the safety of my home, in the safety of my mum's relationship, in the safety of my faith community. And I collapse and my auntie just grabs me. And she's just, she don't realize how tight she was squeezing me, but she wanted to squeeze the hurt. She wanted to squeeze the hurt out of me. And then my mum's in the corner. And my mum is, when I say, if I didn't know that she was my mum, I would think, this is an angel. I pretty much believe, enough people probably believe that she's an angel still. But she's not one to cry.
Interesting.
She's not one. Well, if she does cry, she don't do it in front of people.
All right.
Yeah.
I see my mum cry. All right. More importantly, I hear my mum cry. And it's, when you hear a sound that doesn't normally come from a person, like it was unusual because she's crying, but it's not a sound that is associated with this person. Which again just breaks me even more. And then we just there, and then from there it's kind of a blur because I'm in the house and then I'm back down there.
The storm is going on now. The storm's riding now, innit? So much going on now.
Hearing what the police has to say, and Keelan's mum has arrived now. So there's that dynamic that's happening. So everybody's there. We're there comforting each other, and there's an unspoken, in that moment, there was an unspoken thing between us where we just knew we lost our boy. And there was a level of comfort that, or there was a level of pain that she understood and I understood.
Yeah, no one else would.
That no one else really in that moment could really understand.
Yeah.
My mum, like there was a moment in that moment where two parents lost their prince. And there was a level of pain that we shared and a level of comfort that only at that moment
You and her
we could have offered each other.
understood.
I remember my pastor, not my current pastor, but he's like my mentor, my good pastor, and he had recently, not too long ago, lost someone close to him as well.
Right.
And he was speaking with his wife. He was telling me the story, and he said he was speaking with his wife, and the realization came to him, wow, Mummy's gone. I think it was his mum that passed. He said, Mummy's gone, innit? And his wife said, yeah, Mummy's gone. And then he broke down. To be honest, I don't know if I've had that moment. Because it's and people have expressed their concern for me, my wife included, have expressed because they see me on social media, they see me on podcasts like this, and they see me talking with composure, they see me talking with clarity, and some are concerned that this is not normal. And he's probably this guy's probably heading for a crash when that moment happens. When that moment, oh man, your son's really gone, finally happens, and you say, this is not normal. The composure's too, the strength, they're saying you're displaying so much strength, God bless you. And so I don't know if that moment's happened. What I do know is what I do agree with is that what's happening right now is not normal.
Okay.
It's not normal. And for a while, for a few weeks, I was saying it must be the shock. It has to be the shock. It has to be the shock. And then I got impressed to say, stop saying this is shock. It's a miracle. It's a miracle that's taking place because I'm going to show you, and this is my God that's talking to me. I'm going to show you how I'm going to hold you through your worst case scenario. It's funny. I always used to say, God, why do you always bring me through the worst case scenario in my life? Like, I'm on my second marriage. So that implies that I had a first marriage, right? And obviously it didn't work. God, why you always bring me to the worst case scenario? This, that, or the other. And I used to tell people, don't worry. You might get to your worst case scenario, but we serve a God who specializes in holding you in your worst case scenario. And that was something I used to wear on my chest.
Right.
I used to say it. Not realizing you've not actually graduated to worst case scenario.
Oh my days, them ways there.
And I remember it came to me recently. I used to say that. God always brings me to the worst case scenario, but he knows how to hold you in worst case scenario. And it was almost like God was saying, do you still believe that? Do you still hold that? Do you still trust me to do that? And I've just decided every 60 seconds I decide. So it's not like I'm there. It's 60 seconds from now, I'm going to make the decision again that, all right, a miracle's taking place. And God is holding me through a worse case scenario. Because that's what it is. It's not nothing less than that. But what you're seeing right now, like we were saying earlier, what you're seeing right now is a father of a murdered son who receives comfort when I seek to give comfort.
Mad.
That's not, and trust me, nothing about me is mad or anything. I know that this is not normal. But I do know it is typical of the God that I serve.
Right.
I'm not the first person to lose a son. And I'm not the first person that God has held together in the midst of that pain.
Yeah.
I've just joined the ranks of some fathers who've had to do the same. Like, the thing is, I've got a brethren of mine. He lost his son a few months before Keelan died. And I'm really good friends with him and his wife. Like, he's part of my faith circle, part of my core brethrens.
Yeah.
And the level of faith that these guys have exercised in the death of their son. And like, I've joined the ranks of some incredible people, and you got, and they know who they are. They're examples for me. And I'm like, if God can do it, and I don't even say if you can do it, I can do it. I'm just like, if God can hold you, maybe God can hold me.
Right.
And I make the decision every 60 seconds. To be like, all right, that's what's taking place. That's what can make me jump in my car and be like, yeah, Max, I'm coming down. Yeah, Max, I'm coming down. That can make me, I was on another podcast called We Are Dads, or I Am Dad. with a guy from America. It's what makes me can go on there and be like, all right, let's share stories. Let's talk about it. It's what can make me do that, because I'm just deciding I'm gonna allow God to hold me and do his miracle thing.
We commend your strength for that, man.
We do.
This is the thing is, I know that Keelan is never coming back. And I know that I'm never going to have another conversation with him. My birthday was in December. And for 22 years, I have never not had a happy birthday, Dad. In 22 years. I've never not spent the Christmas with him. He's either with me on Boxing Day or he's with me on Christmas Day. He's with us. So these are all firsts that I've had to be like, okay. So I understand that that's never going to happen again. I understand that the plans that we had to share for him to learn how to tell his story is never going to happen.
Yeah, that conversation, innit?
Yeah. I understand that my future, I understand that I have to now live a future with the permanency of a violation that is never going to be undone. I understand this. That breakdown that people say is on its way, that people say is going to happen. I mean, and I have broken down. Like I've been in that space where it's just tears. And there are days when I'm in a space when it's just mad depression. You get what I'm saying? I'm in a space, and sometimes I don't even know that I'm depressed until I realize, oh man, it's 4 o'clock in the morning and you're still watching TV. 4 o'clock in the morning, you've not gone to bed, or it's 4 o'clock in the morning, you're still trying to edit and do some mad things.
Keep yourself busy.
Yeah, and my wife is really good because she's the one who kind of points it out, like you're not allowing yourself to just settle. You're just constantly doing. And I remember, I remember of myself that those are behaviors that I do when I'm trying to fight depression, or I'm in a state of depression and I'm just trying to. So that's still happening, up and down. And it was crazy. The thing that you said, I was at home before we came. My children were watching Inside Out.
What's that?
It's a Disney film.
Yeah, cartoon.
And bro, it's a Disney film. And I'm not one shy. I don't shy away from tears with films anyway.
Yeah.
Like I'm that guy that will boil over.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, allow it. Why for that, man? That's a wide door, bro.
Yeah. It's just.
Is it? Do you battle over films?
Hush your mouth, man.
Yeah. It's,
No.
No. Hush your mouth. Don't disrespect people when they cry. Yeah, let people bawl.
Do you battle for films?
I bawl when I want to bawl. I'm a grown man.
Me,
so this is, and it's not, Max is not big boo hoo hoos, you know. It's
Don't explain yourself to him, bro. Because he does tea parties and balls. So we're not even going there.
I love it, man.
But you know, when that part of the story, and because I'm a storyteller, I understand how it works. So that part of the story comes in and it does what it does. When a good story does what it does and it touches you and it's there. And it's like, but for me, it's just extreme because it could be sports films when the person shoots the winning goal and I'm like, oh boy, what's happening?
I'm that guy.
Yeah.
But it's opened up, bruv.
Yeah.
You're
They've got you open so much that, you know, you've been so invested in them shooting that last shot that you're just like, you're so happy for them. But we're watching Inside Out. And this thing's getting me teared up. And my family know this of me already. They already know that I'm the guy but it's not a tear up moment. It's not a, it's not a tear up moment. It's not nothing.
But you're invested in this story, though.
No. The thing is, I'm not even that invested.
Oh,
I've
really?
seen it 100 million times.
Okay.
But something about the content of what's going on, like just talking about the feelings what this young girl is having, and she don't understand why she's feeling the way she's feeling. And something in it is just resonating with me. And
That's how small it can be. Easy.
And I'm thinking, I need to go. My wife don't even know this. I'm thinking I need to go because this thing is unraveling me right now. Like I'm looking at this story and it feels like it's about to do this thing that you're talking about. So I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta go to do dadsrus podcast. So I'm gone.
This is today.
Yeah. This is just before I come in.
That's why it was early. That's why it was early. Man left that early.
And I could feel it. And the thing is, I was at the 1000 Black Boys event yesterday, and another family whose son got stabbed 36 times.
Wow.
Son got stabbed 36 times in 2001, and they only had their trial in May 2023.
2023.
Yeah.
That's the shit.
Yeah, because of
Last year.
COVID and backlog and all this palaver.
37 times.
And
People are evil.
And when she's telling her story, I feel it again, because she's explaining the circumstances, and it's so similar to the circumstances of Keelan. It was almost like it's unpicking. And I had to do like a little 5-minute talk to promote what I'm gonna be doing with them later on in the month. And I could feel it unpicking. I'm just like, oh, we need to rush. We need to hurry this thing up. So it's not like I don't know it's lurking. And here's the thing, it's not like I'm running from it.
Evil.
I'm not running from it. I'm expecting it.
But you are kind of though, innit? Because that's the situation. You can feel it.
Yeah, I can feel it. And the thing is, it's...
But is that the man in us again? Is that man thing again where we just trying to avoid?
It could be that. It could be that. It could be a plethora of things. It could be the fact that, listen, I've got a 1-year-old at home who don't give 2 buckets about any of this.
Very true.
Do you get what I'm saying? She wants her bottle when she wants her bottle. We need to get up when she starts bawling at 4:00 in the morning.
What a total different end of the spectrum.
And this is the thing. So it's a mad one, Dwayne, because I'm at home today. And me and my daughter are having fun.
Yeah, man.
Like, she's 1, so she's coming into her own personality and pushing boundaries, and we're having playtime. And I'm a strong believer playtime is just as important as food and nurture. So we're having some playtime. And then every now and again, as soon as I stop, I feel guilty.
Yeah.
Because is it even right for me to have any ounce of fun with my son when my son's not in the world, not part of this future? So there's all these dynamics, but at the same time, she still needs to be catered for. My 7-year-old still wants daddy time. Do you get what I'm saying? My 12-year-old still wants daddy time. My 14-year-old still wants daddy. So there's still functioning that needs to take place. My workplace is calling. When you come in, we just want to know. We don't want to rush you.
All the other children, all your other sons and daughters.
But we still need to know. We still need to know when you're coming back, which is they need to know.
Yeah.
I still got my other sons and daughters at school that said, "Sir, when are you coming back to school?" Because it's tough out here without you here, and I get it because I get it. For reasons why we can't go into too much, but I get it. They want me there. Their story is very intertwined in my story.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Of course.
And that's what you mentioned, Danny. I know, Danny, that's the first thing. Danny, I want to ask him about the Dan. Because you said that.
I mean, we spoke earlier, and my thing was, I want you to have the space to tell your story. I also was interested in, how do you then relate? I don't think we need to go into it now. How do you then relate to the others, to siblings and stuff like that? It's just, for me, like it's unthinkable. Just know it's unthinkable. But for me, to reiterate into other people is probably what would, for me.
Yeah.
So that was
So again, every 60 seconds, I decide to do the miracle route instead of the stress route. So I decide to...
I love that.
I think that's something that everybody can take on, whether faith-led or not.
The reason why I say every 60 seconds is because every 60 seconds, the counterfeit tries to infiltrate.
Right.
You're never going to see your son again. All those plans you had, all that work that you've done with young people, what's it been for?
Wow.
So every 60 seconds, I get the assault. And every
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, so every 60 seconds, I've got a decision to make. Do I
Give in to that.
do I give in and run with that narrative? And who knows where that narrative is going to end? That narrative, I have a clue of where that's going to end up. That's going to end up with broken marriage. That's going to end up with my children not wanting to be around me. It's going to end up with all broken.
It's going to be less than and lack of.
Yeah.
We know that it's going to be less beneficial and lack of benefit to you and your process and progress moving forward.
Absolutely. And then that way, that decision to go that way is about self.
Right.
And it's about self-regulation. It's about how I'm going to deal with this thing. And this thing is too big. So every 60 seconds, I decide, right, I'm not going to fall for that. I'm going to do the miracle thing. And then every 60 second, God is marking my life with the miracle.
Wow.
So he's being faithful. He's being faithful. And he's just, every 60 seconds, he's asking, just continue to trust. Continue to do it. And I trust that if I'm choosing him, when that time comes, my moment when it comes, Keelan really isn't coming back. And the penny drops. I mean, I believe the pennies drop.
Of course, yeah.
But I've been in a space before where I believe that, yeah, my emotion, I understand everything that's going on with me. I've been in that space before when someone has told me, you're still dealing with a certain thing. And I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with that thing. Trust me, I've gotten over that thing. I've gotten over whatever situation you're talking about. I've gotten over that situation. You don't know what you're talking about. And they're like, no. You're still dealing with that situation. Trust me. And I'm like, no, I've moved on. That's like, okay. But no, you're still dealing with that situation. Only to realize
You were still dealing with
I was still dealing with that situation.
Of course.
Even though in my mind, I thought, no, I've moved on.
Yep.
I was still dealing with the situation years after. So even though I'm at a space now where I'm just like, cool, I'm functioning. I've got a family, I'm functioning. I'm fully aware that there might be a moment where I'll have to deal with this. But I'm trusting that when that moment comes, the God who's holding me now is going to hold me through that.
Powerful, bro.
Yeah.
So
Powerful. Powerful. Danny, man. That's go.
I was going to say, so we've appreciate your conversation and words and thoughts and everything, brother. I was going to say, with that being said, what's forward? What's that? I'm going to switch batteries at the same time. Real quick. So we're still recording.
Yeah. Okay.
But where do you go from here?
So that's
What's forward, you know?
that's the question of questions right now. So what's forward is there's a piece of content that I put out at the beginning of all of this, and it was an interview that I did with my son when he was 6 years old.
Wow.
I'll try and pull it into I'll try and get it. So step it into
So what people don't realize though, that was the second of two interviews, or that was the second film interview of two films that we had made.
All right, cool.
And the reason why we started making them was because there had been a stabbing in the area, and I wanted to address the violence in the area.
Right. Okay.
So I said, son, me and you, we're going to tackle knife crime in the area. What are you saying, son? He's only 6.
Anything for you, then.
And yeah, at that point, camera, TV,
He's down.
with dad. Yeah. And with friends. And I was like, hey, we're going to use your friends. So I was using my cousin. I was using all the young people around the area. All these young people now are big people. They're adults now.
Yeah.
But at the time when we did it, they were young. And I still got the video to this day. And it was a video where young children are playing, and they go in their house and they find these toy guns, you know, those toy plastic guns, and you put the spray paint underneath, and when you spray it, it sprays out like the squiggly spray thing.
Yeah.
So they had those, and they're running around with those, and you know, play shooting each other. And then Keelan grabs one And it's a toy. Everybody knows at this point knows that the gun is a toy, but he points it at one of his foster brothers that my mum's looking after at the time. He points it, shoots, and then a real bullet comes out. And then music changes. Boy's thinking, how can I get shot from a toy gun? Keelan, young little Keelan's looking at him all shocked and wondering what's happening. My mum's even in the video.
Right.
She's playing the boy's mum. She runs out of the car, she's holding him, and then the music comes in and the caption says, "Real violence ends here. Where does it begin? Learn to live." Boom. And that was the first one. And we put it, and it was on some little dingy camera. Before phones were able to do this, but it was one of them flip cameras, and I was like, yeah, this looks good, man. We're gonna put this. I was like, son, look at the little film, and all his little friends were coming around. They was looking. I was like, look at what you lot are creating.
Yeah,
we're gonna do something big here. We're gonna do something. This is gonna be good, man. And they loved it. They loved watching it. So the day after, Keelan is in the kitchen with his little brethren, and so I start asking him some questions. What is life all about? And then you will see it on the video. The editing is just a response to those questions that I'm asking him and his friend. And then he's answering, and his answers are just so profound at the time.
Yeah,
it's just making me proud. When he's doing it, it's just making me proud with his answers. And I'm just like, son, this video is gonna be wicked as well. He's like, all right. And then right towards the end, I asked him the question. So, what is it that you want these boys to understand? What is the thing that you would want to say to them? And he said, you know what? I really, really wish these boys would just learn to live. And he looks at the camera. Really? Pause. I goes, son, that was wicked. Nice one. And then I get to the editing, boom, and it's there. And here's the thing, it was there, and then work comes in, life comes in, all of this comes in, and the thing has been sitting on my laptop.
Yeah.
Always at the back of my mind,
Got to do something with it.
we're gonna do. Always in the back of my mind, we're gonna do an anti-knife campaign one day. But it's just there. The video has been on my laptop for years. Dwayne.
Well, you said he was 6, bro.
He was 6.
So that's a long time.
It's a long time, but it's just been there.
Wow.
Can we clarify his age?
So Keelan died 22.
Okay.
It's a long time, brother.
So it's just been there. And I'm like, I take pride in this, like all the stuff that Keelan's in anyway.
Of course.
So and the thing, one of our things as well is that we love to every now and again to just go over these videos. Like we've got other family videos, but we can't, because I'm a filmmaker, I spruce them up. I don't just do the run of the normal thing. We kind of spruce it up, put music to it, put captions to it, all of that. So every now and again, he likes to go over the videos and stuff like that. He wants me to send him the video so he can show his people. So it's just been there. I remember when it happened, and I was just looking at it, just wanted to see what memorabilia, what stuff I had of my son. And then I remembered, oh man, I've got this. Let me look at this again. He's talking, then he says it. I really wish these boys to live. But then what gets to me, he's saying, people will go out on the street and start crying. Parents are angry, they're hurt. And he's describing
the whole scene.
Days,
he's just describing what's just happened to him. And what?
Yeah, I clocked it, I didn't even clock that, Yeah,
my man is prophesying right now and doesn't realize he's prophesying about his own thing.
Wow.
And what his father is literally on camera caught doing. People go out in the street and start crying. And I'm like, oh, I've got to get this out there then. Let me just put it out there. I put it out there, and obviously because of the circumstance, it kind of just blows up. It's just out there. learn to live. And then in my mind and in my heart, I'm like, all right, we're going to do this then, son. That's your legacy from 6. It's something we started when we were 6. Been on the back burner, kind of neglected it. Who knows whether if I picked it up, if I got more serious with it back then. Who knows? Who knows the shoulda, coulda, wouldas? And
Exactly.
We can't live in the shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
At all.
Right now, let's do this then. I'm in a position where I've been talking to young people. And now let's learn, let's teach them, let's teach young people, but let's just teach people how to live. What does that mean? What does it mean to live? And that's the journey. And when we say what's forward, that's the journey, because God just kept telling me, or I just kept getting impressed that who's going to be the best person right now? Who's going to have the most influential, most impactful voice in teaching people how to imagine a better future? I'm like, what does that mean? How do you imagine a better future? And he's like, all right, so listen, forgiveness is an act of faith that imagines a better future while acknowledging the permanency of a violation. I'm like, what are you saying to me? He said, forgiveness in its most authentic form isn't a neglecting of your anger, Jermaine. Isn't a neglecting of your pain. Isn't a neglecting of justice. What it is an imagining of a future, a challenging future, with the violation of a past by totally rejecting retaliation. It's funny, weeks before that, I had been studying the levels of bitterness.
Yeah.
And the first level of bitterness is unforgiveness.
I can agree with that.
And the last level of bitterness is murder.
Wow.
Is it?
And there's about 7 levels in between. So you've got bitterness, level 1, resentment, level 2, anger, level 3. Level 4 is, I think, retaliation, level 5, violence, level 6, something like more violence. And then the last level, I'm misquoting, but it's that. And then the last level is always murder. Now, you can go through that process within a second, or you can go through that process within 50 years. But that's always the fruits of unforgiveness.
Unforgiveness
is murder. So in my mind now, I'm like, right, well, if murder is the fruit of unforgiveness, this is exactly why these young people go out and retaliate and want to murder. It's exactly why Keelan was in the firing line of being murdered. He wasn't the one that they was after trying to murder.
Right.
But he was just the one
that was there. During their time of unforgiveness.
And when you deep it all, you give me one instance of murder where unforgiveness is not at the root cause of that.
I can't.
Yeah, of course.
So then I was just like, sorry, if unforgiveness is at the root of murder, how do I really counter murder? It's not merely just having a campaign to say, take the knives out of the young people's hands. Because just like when weeds grow back in the garden, if you don't deal with the soil, weeds are always going to come back in the garden.
100%.
Always.
100%.
You ask any garden, you uproot those weeds. Tomorrow there are more weeds because there's something going on with the soil of the garden, and the soil of young people's minds. The root of it. The root of it is unforgiveness. Now, who at this particular point in time, at this particular point in history, with this circumstance, What person is going to have the most impactful voice on forgiveness? Other than the man who's just seen his son's red porridge all over the floor. If this man can make a decision, then what about you? So you see, when I say it's a miracle me standing here before and doing this, that's also a miracle that God says, all right, make the choice. I'm not telling you to feel a thing. I'm not telling you that it's going to erase your pain. I'm not telling you it's going to erase your confusion. I'm not telling you it's going to do all of that stuff that a lot of times when people talk about forgiveness in a religious sense, they think it's a sweeping of all this other stuff underneath the carpet, and they try to rush you back into an insincere, and an unrealistic reconciliation. Yeah. He's saying that I'm not asking you to do none of that. The forgiveness I'm asking you to do is to deal with the thing that always leads to murder, and it's the rejection of retaliation. Make the decision, son. That's what I hear. So I'm like, okay. And then one day, the Saturday, so obviously we did the rally, and that was the Thursday. That was the day after Keelan got stabbed. And then on the Saturday, I say I'm gonna preach at my church. All miraculous things has taken place. Like at this point, I'm saying I'm still in shock. I'm not decided to stop naming it the miracle stuff. I'm saying I'm probably still in shock because this is not normal. And I kind of knew this is not normal. So I'm probably still in shock. And so I'm preaching at my church on the Saturday, and I'm driving down, and a song comes on, or my wife puts on a song, and then I start crying. And my wife thinks it's because of obvious reasons. But then I mentioned to her, the reason why I start crying is because while the song was playing, I'm imagining me talking to the parents of the guy that killed Keelan and embracing the parents. And then it moves on to me sitting in prison, facing this guy and embracing him. And I'm like, my emotions are going up and down. It's like, what? Why am I getting those? We get those, when I was saying we get those, every 60 seconds we get those infiltrating thoughts. And I'm like, so who's sending these? Who's sending these ones?
You know who's sending them.
And it was like, deep down I knew who was sending them. And then this is the thing, if God is sending me these ones, this is the heart that he has for these ones.
Yeah, it's very, very true.
And then I start contemplating, I start reasoning with myself. If this is the heart that you have for these ones, I know that I love my son with all of my heart. But if this is what you're sending for these ones, this is actually what it means to have a father's love.
It does.
Is that despite what they've done, I'm not dismissing anything that they've done. I'm not dismissing the justice, but my heart for them is, I want to embrace.
Your heart is God's heart.
And then you see when that came to me, it just broke me. That's what made me start crying. And I was like, God, why are you like this? How can you be like this? And this is what you want me to be like. And he's saying, I know you don't think you can be like this, but I just want you to have the intent. Because with the intention, follows the miracle.
Powerful, bro.
That's back around.
Yeah.
Right back around.
And it broke me. It was just like,
how do people? So he said, like, the first step into doing that is obviously forgiveness. Yeah. And you're saying, the first step you said was learn to live. What are those steps to that? Yeah. For me, the forgiveness step was powerful, simply because if people were listening to what he said, he gave you step by step of how to do that. But people genuinely want, like, I'm not going to say the idiot's guide. I don't mean it like that. But people want, because when you're in it, like,
it's a dummies thing, innit?
It's like just a dummy's guide to it. But for me, I think you have said it. You've articulated yourself in such a way that is my language. I'm big on forgiveness. And I always said and felt like God spoke to me and told me, like, if that was to ever happen to me, that would be the first thing I'd do. The first thing is I'd have to forgive.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to retaliate.
Yeah. And when we're talking about steps, this is it. The first step to forgiveness, and I'm trying to, because I want this to be more, I want it to be perceived more than a religious guy telling everybody to forgive.
Yes.
Because I'm not even talking about the forgiveness that sometimes is preached from the pulpit, because the forgiveness that's preached from the pulpit sometimes is a forgiveness that means sweep everything underneath the carpet.
That's not what you're talking about.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, the forgiveness I'm talking about acknowledges anger. I'm talking about acknowledges pain. The forgiveness I'm talking about does not push people into reconciliation. That's not what it is. The forgiveness I'm talking about is authentic forgiveness that acknowledges the permanence of a violation, but imagines what a challenging future might look like
without retaliation.
And that's the key. It's the first step is the rejection of retaliation. Mm-hmm. And it's the intent that, okay, I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do that.
The answer is always the answer.
I intend to do that. Mm-hmm. Now, with the intention, on the back of that, miraculous things are happening.
Agreed.
Now, but I don't believe I'm special in any way, shape, or form in that regard. That miracle that's attending the intention is a principle. And principles happen because principles happen.
It's the law of attraction.
So if you decide that I'm going to intend, and you can't pretend like you're going to intend.
No.
You just have to determine in your mind and make a decision. Because a decision is a particular word, right? Day means off, and decision means to cut. So a decision is not a choice. A decision is a cutting off from any other option. Mm. Do you get what I'm saying? So when I've made a decision that I'm going to cut off from any choices that involve retaliation.
Powerful, brother.
And that is the first step. And because of what I understand about the levels of bitterness, mm-hmm. The first level of bitterness is unforgiveness. That's fact. That's spiritual fact. That's just what it is. So the first level of bitterness is unforgiveness. The last level is murder. So, all right. So if I want to deal with this thing, I've got to be intentional and make a decision about not retaliating. Mm. So the first step of forgiveness in a practical sense is just a decision to say, I'm not going to retaliate.
Mm-hmm. Step one.
Once you take that step, the rest of the steps will come.
Yeah, I'm not going to retaliate, because you see, when you decide and not going to retaliate, and then educate yourself about what it is that you're doing.
Of course.
Because when you realize that, all right, there's levels to this thing, there's bitterness. Now people don't realize why they're angry. Or, they have these vile thoughts about it. Someone walks into the room and they're just like, see, one day, boy, it's gonna happen for you. They're smiling. It's like, what are you saying, bro? Brethren. Yeah. But in their mind, it's like, yeah, one day it's coming. You go down the line, bro. Something's happened to them. A violation has taken place for them, and they've not forgiven. Mm. And it's just festering and it's festering and it's festering. Now I'm a person, I'm an advocate of freeness. I'm an advocate of being a free human being, even to the point where I don't even see the commandments or the law of God as things that he wants me to do. To me, those are declarations of freedom. God has called me. I live in a space of I'm a free person. I'm so free that I don't need to steal. I'm so free that I don't need to do all the stuff.
Understood. Understood.
So that's how I live my life. So I'm intending, and I've made the decision that I'm going to free myself from retaliation and do the forgiveness thing. Now, the forgiveness thing, I decide every 60 seconds.
I agreed.
Because every 60 seconds, a thought comes with, you're really gonna let this slide. But this is the thing. It's, for me, I'm at the place where it's not something, like I said, it's freedom.
It's not something you're letting slide.
Yeah.
It's freedom from thinking in that way of I'm letting it slide.
Yeah, it's freedom.
Yeah.
I'm at the court and I'm getting mad with myself because this brother's on the screen and the judge is just reeling out all the stuff that he's been up to since he was a youth. First of all, he is a youth. He's only a year older than my son. So I hear that and I'm just like, oh my God. I know some of the stupid decisions that my son's made that's got himself into trouble, not even thinking about what he's thinking about. He's just, so he's already at the age where you're fully not operating on all cylinders anyway, because you're a youth still. You're an adult, but you're still a youth. And then the judge is reeling off all the stuff that he's been getting up to from when he was a child, tiny little child. And in my head, I'm just like, this is just a bad youth. This is just a bad youth. I'm just thinking about a student in my class. There's one of those students in my class that just needs a teacher like me. And I'm getting mad because no, I'm supposed to be flipping over. I'm supposed to be going mad. I'm supposed to be dashing something at the screen. I'm supposed to be going mad, and I'm not going mad.
Instead, you got empathy and compassion,
and I'm getting mad with myself because I'm experiencing empathy and passion when I don't want to be experiencing it. But then at the same time, it's just like it's a choice. Now I can be experiencing that, and then I could reject that and go this way. But those are choices.
Yes.
And if I go this way, I've got enough knowledge to know that if I go this way, that's slavery, that's obligation, that is entanglement, that's bitterness, that's the last level of that way is murder. Even if I might come here, if I might start at the low level, the last level of that is murder. I know that choice is what that is.
Why jump on that?
Yeah. So I choose this, and the thing is, the desires over this side. The empathy and all of that is not something I'm trying to feel. I'm not trying to feel, oh, this is just a bad youth. I'm actually not trying to, I don't actually want to feel that, but it's available. It's there. It's God saying, there's life and death I hear. Which one are you going to choose? And I can reject this.
Because you have free will.
Because I can reject it and I can go here, but so I've just decided, all right, I'm gonna trust you, God, and go here. I'm gonna trust what you're impressing me with, and I'm gonna go here. And he's like, that's all I need is that intent, and then watch me move. Now it's weird because I've been preaching that type of message. That's the type of relationship with God that I preach.
Right.
That it's real for me. It's been a real thing, and it's almost like. Someone told me the other day, because sometimes I might get too technical. I don't think I'm being technical, but because it's just in me, and when I'm speaking it, I'm wondering why ain't people getting what I'm putting out? Because what I'm putting out there is the best thing that I'm putting out there.
Oh, you sound like me, bro.
Yeah. Why are people understanding what's the way? Yeah. Why are people understanding? Like I'm talking about like the best. The best, when we're talking about good news, it's like the best good news.
I hear you. That's how I'm feeling when you're talking. I'm like, this is the best thing I'm hearing.
Yeah. I'm giving out the best good news. Why people jumping on this? And I was talking with a good friend of mine yesterday, and I was saying something similar, and he was with me because we were just been vibing with each other.
Right,
he was
right,
with
right.
me, and he was just like, you know what? You need to simplify that language. And I was like, simplify? It's simple.
Yeah.
Other-centeredness, man. It's just like, but no, because trust me, and he's real connected. He was just like, the way how people receive information they don't go beyond 15.
It's so true.
So when you're communicating, so you might have this thing that's going on in your head, but when you're communicating, the masses, social media, they don't push out films, all of that storytelling. They don't go beyond the level of 15-year-olds. So you got every time you've got a good piece of information or good story to tell, you need to tell it to the maximum of 15-year-old. Better if you tell it to a 5-year-old, 15-year-old. Then I realized, oh, okay, I need to kind of not dumb down the language, but I need to make it more accessible.
More accessible. See, that's what the word we were looking
And
at.
digestible.
Yeah.
And digestible.
Yeah. So I need to make it more digestible. I need to make it more accessible. This absolute gem
This message
of what's available
to all of us as well.
to all of us. And then God is like, I'm gonna put you in it's gonna hurt. Like it's gonna be the most hurtful thing you've ever gone through. It's gonna be the most tragic thing, the most traumatic thing you've ever gone through. But I'm actually going to allow you to be in a position
To do that.
where your words are gonna have power because you're gonna be living this thing when you speak it. You've been preaching it for how long? And you and I know that it's the best thing. But I'm gonna put you in a different position now where when you preach it, people know it because they see you living the miracle. Even when you don't understand why the miracle's taking place.
Lads,
You get what I'm saying?
360
you just thrown a whole piece of miracle in this whole entire recording, brother.
I think, yeah.
You just, bro, I don't even know where to start and tell you thank you for this. On a real. Like, I understood everything you said. It penetrated my whole entire being. Yeah, it's everything that I stand for.
Pause, is it a pause?
Like, it's not a pause, bro.
right
We don't
now.
pause on them things there. Yeah. Like,
gotta try and get-
genuinely, hey, bruv, don't talk when I'm talking. Yeah. On a real, seriously, what you shared with us today,
Gem.
upon gems. Seriously. And I thank you for even blessing us with the opportunity to sit with us and talk, because I hope people can understand what you said. I really, really do. I know they will resonate with
Because
a
apply
lot.
it to any situation. You can apply
Everything.
that to anything that you're going through in your life. I literally just compare.
It's proven. Look at what he's gone through.
Yeah.
So if he can do it, and like you said, not even if you can do it, if God can do it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If God can do it through a situation like this, then
We can all do it.
we can all do it. And then it's transformed the other things, because it's not like drama has left my life. It's drama's not left my life. In many cases, more drama's entered in.
Right.
But it's just like, right, if I can hold you with this, you can let go of a thing of a lesser nature.
Yeah.
Because this is a bigger thing. But
This is the biggest thing.
But sometimes that's even where some of the deepest challenges is, because sometimes I want to retaliate on the lesser thing, because it's not murder.
Not as big as
It's not as big.
I understand what you mean by
But
that.
the spirit of that, the spirit of retaliation is still the same.
100.
Understood.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understood. And from you're on that stairway, you're on the stairway to me where you're saying to murder.
Yeah.
That's the point. As much as we may think that, just like you're
You
talking
can kill
about
your character. You kill your whole.
Well, yeah, you're right. You kill your own character, and I just feel everything you just said there is just powerful.
And you might make it the norm to do that.
Yeah.
If you do that.
Yeah.
Well, that is what they do. Then they do make it their norm.
Yeah. Commend you, brother. Commend your bravery.
Everything.
Compassion. All of it. Strength. Insane. And love as well, because the empathy and love for the ends as well, because you clearly still love the surroundings and the areas and stuff like that. And I can feel you're still going to do your work. And we look forward to seeing how you move forward. You said you're going to move forward. Is there a foundation or
So it's funny. There is a foundation, Keelan's mum is setting up a foundation. It's called Learn to Live _KW, I believe. So she set up a foundation. And it's good. Keelan's mum is doing some good things. Set up a foundation. She's been in contact with Idris Elba. They've made just linked some of what the legacy of Keelan with his campaign, which is all good stuff. So let me just put that out there from now. That's all good stuff. However, there's a level that I'm trying to get. There's an approach that I'm trying to do where it's more of an educational approach because I've got links with the school and I've got links with whoever. There's a direction and that I'm leading in that at the moment is not exactly aligned. I got a good poet friend of mine. One of her poems, she says, it's all about God's aligning and God's perfect timing. So, when God aligns what he aligns and he does the perfect timing with what we're doing, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some powerful synergy that's going on there. At the moment, I'm focusing on an educational program, a Learn to Live educational program where I use performing arts, drama, my speciality, to allow young people to become the agents of change. So there's a program that I'm formulating. We go into schools. It's funny. I wrote a play. I wrote a play a month. I put the full stop on the play a month before Keelan got murdered. It's called Our Son.
Wow.
And the themes of that play is forgiveness.
Yep,
You've got too much prophecy going on in this whole.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm just letting you know my services are here to be of service.
And I can act as well.
Yeah.
So the plan, and again, we was already planning to use this. We was already.
You understand? This was already happening.
So this happening, and then with my sons, the thing that we started years ago, it was just like, all right, well, this is the alignment.
Right.
This is the alignment.
Understood. This was God's timing.
Yeah, this is the alignment.
Wow.
This is the perfect timing.
He just comes back again.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was just like, all right, so we're gonna do this. So we got that, and how we use that is that's just a play that we put into school that raises the conversation about forgiveness. The play is about a father who's not seen his son for 10 years, and all of a sudden his son turns up at his door demanding, where have you been?
Right.
It's a two-hander. That's what the play is all about.
Beautiful.
The son's had to go through certain things without his dad being around. Yeah. Dad's not around. Dad's turned his life around, but he's just come back on the scene. So, and they want to know.
The son wants answers.
Yeah. Son wants to know what's been going on. Why haven't you been there for me? But the son's angry.
Yeah.
The son's angry. The dad used to be an ex-roadman or whatever, but the dad is now change or on the process of changing his life, and it's that tension, it's that contention of them hashing it out, flashbacks and all of that. But the main theme is, how do these people, mum, dad, son, how do all of them deal with forgiveness? Because they all have something that they need to be forgiven for. So how do they all deal with forgiveness? And then so that raises the question of forgiveness, and then we get people like my boy, good friend Andrew Fuller. He's got a program. He's got a program called Hood Lessons, and when I say he's a monster at this, when I say he's a monster at dealing with young people and getting into their heads and just knowing how to draw it out. I was actually wanting to. We were talking about him being like one of the main people in the play, so it just naturally segues into some of the work that he does, and then
Understood.
We just use that. So we combine some of the work that he does with some of the work that I do, where we have scripts where they can come up and rearrange what's going on the stage and say, I think this solution would work. I think that solution would work. And they become the young people become their own agents of change. See, when young people become their own agents of change, you empower them to propel the change. So if we come to them, a big man, we come to them and we say, this is what you need to do. This is what I think that you need to do. They'll be like, all right, cool. Where's my PlayStation? Yeah. All right, cool. It comes with all of that. We see when they come up with the root solutions, when they come up with things that we think that this will change, and then they see it playing out in a scenario, they're going to subscribe to that. They're going to own that. They're going to have that, and they will run with that. And that's kind of like the foundation of the program, the educational program that we want to roll out. And then I just know what inspiration and aspiration does for young people, working with young people. I've got the main guy from Blue Story.
Oh yeah,
Timmy. He's up. His poster's up on my wall, and I always say, "Who's this guy?" And they say, "That's Stephen from Blue Story." And then I go onto my computer and I show them the video of his GCSE video where I was doing his GCSE video, and I goes, "Who's that guy?" And I goes, "Who's that?" Goes, "That guy is that guy." I goes, "No, so you taught him?" It's like, "Yeah, I taught him, and everything that I taught him, I'm teaching you. There's no reason why you can't be up on here."
Wow.
And it's not only him, the main guy that's in Hamilton right now, I've got his GCSE, and I'm like, "Who's that guy? Who's this guy?" There's no reason why I shouldn't be on stage. There's no reason why you shouldn't be up on the screen if you want to be up on screen. Because everything that I taught them, and they will come back and tell you, everything I've taught them, I'm doing the exact same thing that I'm doing to you. It's the exact same thing that I did for my son. It's the exact same thing that I do for all the young people. You give value, you experience value and well-being when you seek to do those things. That's the intent. That's the miracle. That's how God has designed the world to be. The more you give, it will come back to you. That's life. That's the way of life. So I know what inspiration and aspiration does for young people. And in the context of that, you drop the nugget, you drop the gem of this is how we learn to live. You drop the gem of the root of murder is always unforgiveness. So let's deal with the root of unforgiveness. So we deal with the soil. We do the mind surgery from here. We do the updating of the operating system from here. We deal with that from here. So we never need to pluck out weeds at this end. We don't need to pluck out the weeds of murder at this end because we're dealing with it. We're not dealing with taking knives out of our young people's hand at this end because that's just a plucking out of weeds. Knife crime, her brethren said it the other day at his event. You know, knife crime hasn't gone down in prisons. They ain't got no knives in prisons. They ain't got no zombies in prisons.
Yeah, my friend was at that event and she said that was said.
Yeah. There's nothing like that in prisons, but they got toothbrushes. They got a toothpick. They got a long fingernail. They got whatever. It's there. It's unforgiveness that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah.
That is going to get rid of that last outcome. It's there. So now with the Learn to Live program, we're formulating it. I'm formulating it in a way where we use accessible language. So, and digestible language. So people don't just see it as another Christian going on about righteous he is, about forgiveness, because it's not that. Like my anger hasn't gone. My frustration hasn't gone. My pain hasn't gone. Like I'm crying right now.
Yeah.
Of course.
Even when there's no tears.
Yeah.
You know, the crying happens every day, even when there's no tears. But there's no tears because man has to play with his 1-year-old daughter. Man has to look to his 7-year-old daughter. Man has to be there for his 12-year-old daughter. Man has to be there for his 14-year-old son. Man has to be there for my mum. Man still has to be a husband to his wife. Man still has to look about business, still have to do the entrepreneur thing, there's still things to do. So sometimes, and when we say it's a man thing, sometimes the man thing is, right, you need to cry, but you need to function while you're crying. But all of that is happening. Don't forget the intent, son, is what God is saying. Don't forget the intent, because the intent, the decision for the intent is where the miracle happens. You don't worry about anything else. Just worry about the intent. You know,
and the rest will come.
My intent now is to make forgiveness, or the concept of forgiveness, accessible, digestible for the worldly mind I don't even like to use that but just for people to understand that this is where it's at. Murder is a spiritual thing that's going on. It's the physical act, the end result of a deep spiritual thing that's going on. And the spiritual things that's going on is unforgiveness. Now, people out there are not going to want to hear that, That's not going to be the thing that the government's not going to want to fling money to, because they're going to think it's a religious, but it's actually not a religious thing. Forgiveness is a faith in humanity thing.
It's a human thing.
It's not my fault that Christianity has cornered the market on forgiveness.
Right.
We've cornered the market on it, but it's a faith in humanity thing. It's something that the world needs.
Agreed.
You get what I'm saying? And that's where it's at. So when we do the mind surgery thing and we do the updating of the young people's operating system thing, right there, teach them to value themselves. They have value to give. We do that successfully, the natural result of that is going to be...
The intention is still the free will, which God gives to us.
Absolutely.
You know, like, I'm not a religious person, but I do believe in God and I do believe in a higher power. My relationship with God is solid. So when you speak about what you're speaking about, I hear you're giving all power to God as you should, but understand that he gave you free will.
Of course.
And you make that decision every 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Mad, innit?
You do that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, you're welcome, brother.
Oh, we appreciate you, man. And we're here to be reached out to. Something very random. Pick up the girls in the video of the visual. We love you, sir.
And again,
that hit me still. That camera's gone, so we wrap up. Gone.
Yeah. Again, so those are my kids.
Yeah.
Those are my. So when I say my kids, like, those are my year 11s.
Yeah.
They're in my form class. I teach them in my form, and
Yeah, that's cool.
you know, they give me joy. Like, they're the reason why I go into school. Basically, they're the reason why I go into school.
Just
and I keep telling, I tell them all the time. They think that I teach them performing arts. They think that I'm teaching them drama, but I'm teaching them. I use performing arts to teach them life.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what it is.
I think you said that in the video.
Yeah. So that's my secret weapon. Getting them. But this is where it's like, how I got into school. I know it was a God move, and I know why I'm there. I'm not just there to teach curriculum. I'm there to use curriculum. I'm there to use the skills to teach these young people how to live. I've always been teaching young people how to live. I've always been using what I do to teach them life, and to teach them how to be empathetic, to use drama. And drama is key for that. Drama gives me that superpower, because everything else in school teaches them what to think, teaches them what to memorize. Drama is all about teaching you how to think, teaching you how to use those emotions, teaching you how to use your voice, teaching you how to look at this person's situation and be like, rah, what would that be like if I was in his shoes? And then I'll go and try and perform that. So it gives me that superpower, that gives me that edge to get underneath their skin and be like, really think about what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, man. Love and appreciation. Sorry, Max, but man's a crier, innit? So I look forward to that movie. When the movie builds, and it hits that moment where you put the clip of your son and he looks through the camera and says what he says, I look forward to crying at that moment, because I'm that guy and I'm going to cry. Yeah? Boom. Love every time. Me too. You as well, yeah?
Yeah.
I knew I went by myself, man.
I'm that guy.
I know I'm not.
I'm that guy, because you know the depth behind it.
Yeah.
So that little 3 seconds ain't 3 seconds. It's you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. The camera's over here now. Love and manners.
Close in your face now, innit?
Love and manners each and every time, man. Thank you for tuning in. Show Jermaine some love. Get him saying.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
Socials. Can we get some socials in real quick?
Yeah, so my socials is Jermaine Thinking at TikTok.
Yep.
It's _ Jermaine Thinking Insta, and Jermaine Wong at YouTube, on YouTube.
And we'll find them.
And you'll find it.
Yeah,
if you just type in my name, you type in Jermaine Wong, it'll all type up. I'm on Insta.
We'll get them in the description and all that, just to make sure it was right there.
Yeah,
man.
They're all there.
Love and manners each and every time. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Come on.
Deuces.